Benichiza Mukandawire, a Malawian political activist and the founder of Youth Leadership Project Africa, or YLPA. He joins us from our London studios. And last but not least, we have Brian G. Bola, the Malawian ambassador to the United Nations. He joins us from our New York City studios. Well, gentlemen, I have to say that I'm profoundly honored and exceedingly humbled for the opportunity to host the three of you. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Let me come to you,
This is a demonstration of Flip4Mac.
You obviously have been following the conversation. You probably will have heard that part of the problem in Malawi is probably the result of what one might say international interference. You had the ambassador talking about the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. They brought in all these institutions. And of course, he might have even added Great Britain.
Right. I think what the ambassador failed to explain is the intolerance of the president of Malawi. What I would say, Shaka, is that the DPP, the current regime, they are able to talk statistics about the progress Malawi is taking. They're able to talk about the food security. They'll build the president up to heaven if they have to. But the bottom line is that Malawians are tired of his leadership because of his intolerance to criticism, because of his handling of the opposition, because of his handling of the constitution. There are so many variations to his leadership that the ambassador has failed to explain. So if they start pointing fingers at the international community, I would say that the civil society in Malawi, they had no choice. There was a time they were summoned to the State House to speak to the president.
This is a demonstration
where the president,
of Flip4Mac.
Upon hearing the demands of the civil society, he had to bang his table, telling them that they cannot demand anything from him. They cannot give him an ultimatum. So he is a president who is ready to destroy anyone who critiques him. That's the main reason why Malawians are angry with him right now. That's the main reason why the British High Commissioner to Malawi was expelled. Cochrane died. He actually sent a cable to his officials here in the UK, but that cable was leaked. Upon seeing that, the president was upset because he is intolerant to criticism, and in that cable, it was revealed that Bingwa Mutharika cannot be criticized. He does not respect the constitution of the country. That is the reason why the High Commissioner was expelled. So tell me, Shaka, what kind of leadership is that which compels everyone to comply to your demands, to your thought processes? That's the problem that Malawians have with their leader.
But what
That's the reason why civil society...
But what happened to the Malawians, for example, the spirit of the Malawians who, back in 2004,
this is a demonstration
prevented, for example, then incumbent President Bakili Muluzi from shifting the political constitutional goalposts? Where did they go, and where did Bingwa Mutharika get all this power that you're talking about?
Yeah, because I think different politicians, they come with different strategies. Bakili Muluzi was not as strategic in authoritarianism as Bingu is. I will tell you why.
This is a demonstration
the former president Bakili Muluzi, I think he did not push it further when he wanted to change the goalposts for the constitutional changes. While Bingwa Mutharika, he has used all manner of what we can say political strategies to change the constitution. The first one you heard internationally, there were the anti-fraudulent laws that were, gimmicks of the DPP just to test the waters. Then there was the repressive law of Section 46, which denied the media certain rights. Then now we have the injunction bill, which allows the government to stop publication of certain stories that expose corrupt practices in the DPP regime. I have to point out one thing, Shaka. The ambassador Bola, he is part of this regime. He is part of this corrupt dictatorial regime of Dr. Bingwa Mutharika. So whatever they say, it is because they want to make sure that the international community sees them in a different light. But the truth of the matter is Malawians are upset, and that is the reason why Malawians went to the streets. At the moment, 19 people have died. The priority of the president was to go and inspect the places that were vandalized. Such places of his business compatriots, instead of going to actually visit the families of the deceased. So you can see the priorities of the president, who seems to be democratic. Is that what you call a democratic leadership? But that is the reason why Malawians are angry.
But at least you have to give credit to Ambassador Bola for initially taking the opportunity, frankly, to extend his personal and perhaps government's condolences to the aggrieved families of the
this
people
is a demonstration
who
died.
Actually, Ambassador Bola, he might not be directly involved in the corrupt practices of the DPP or in anything the DPP does, because he is not in Malawi. But I would say that the condolences, they come from him, because we have to actually put a distinction here. Ambassadors of the country are not directly rulers. They are not engaged directly with the people.
This is a demonstration.
So if there are repressive laws being introduced, the ambassadors are not involved in that category. So I would say the condolences, yes, that's in Africa we call Ubuntu. That's our nature, our humanity. So yes, it's acceptable. I respect Ambassador Bola for that.
Thank you.
But
Thank you very much.
We must not ignore the fact.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the lifeline of the show, which are the telephone callers again. Let's go to, is it Kenusi from Ghana? You're most welcome to Straight Talk Africa. Kenusi.
Yeah, Shaka.
Yes, sir.
Good evening from Ghana. Good afternoon in the U.S.
Hugely terrific. You have 1 minute, please.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ghana. My name is Kenusi. And what advice that I want to give to the Malawians is that they need to have to fight. In Africa, we don't want dictatorship. We want freedom of expression. They need to fight and then stand for their rights.
This is a demonstration of flip
They need to come out as Malawians. They should not listen to any Western world, especially in Ghana. If even today at a radio station in Ghana, an opposition man was talking against the president, and he was arrested to the police station, and quickly the president heard it and then quickly instructed the police to release him. He told them he doesn't want that type of democracy here in Ghana. So then they need to learn.
Thank you.
This is a demonstration
here in Ghana.
of flip from
Nobody confronted them. Nobody shoot on them. It's part of democracy.
Thank you.
Leadership is not about who you are.
Thank you very much, Kenusi. Let's stay in Ghana and go to Tafa. Good evening, Tafa. You're most welcome to Straight Talk Africa.
Good evening, my big brother Shaka. How are you doing?
I am hugely terrific, Tafa.
Thank you very much. Shaka, I think let me take it from where my brother Sanusi left.
This is a demonstration of flip from
today in Ghana here. Somebody called a president as a gay man. So security agencies went and arrested the person, and His Excellency the President instructed the security agencies to release the person. It's true. We don't like this kind of democracy in Africa. But if I listen to the people from Malawi carefully, especially the opposition, they are not telling me that the president is not doing well. If I heard them right. But
this is a demonstration of flip from
Malawi. They should be careful, because sometimes some of the opposition we have in East Africa, they are irresponsible to the extent that Chaka, they do everything for power. I against every dictator in Africa, especially Uganda and other countries where you have dictators. But I also oppose the lawlessness, where the people took the laws into their own hands, vandalized.
This is a demonstration of flip from
This is not right. So people should be careful the way they go about. I think Malawi, you have a law to follow, democracy. Wait, when the time comes, go mobilize the people and vote him out of power.
Thank you.
That is the only thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Ambassador Bola in New York. Ambassador Bola, I'm sure that you obviously have been following the conversation. First of all, let me ask you this question. Do you sincerely, if you were to talk to us from the deepest, better part of the bottom of your Malawi heart and soul, would you say that perhaps the government, in fact, last week might have overreacted, resulting into the death of about 19 demonstrators?
Thank you very much, Shaka. And indeed, I've listened to all the questions, and especially the gentleman from the north who asked what are the West doing, when they're going to come and help us. To answer your question very clearly to the point, is that the government allowed the demonstrations to take place on the 20th. A private citizen within his liberties took an injunction to try and protect other citizenry. By the time the citizens gathered in the morning to do the march, an injunction was in force, which was overturned. It is the same president our colleagues are talking about that sanctioned and approved for this march and demonstration to take place. It is exceptionally unfortunate that 19 people lost their lives. But Shaka, we need to take stock of where they lost their lives. 4 individuals had lost their lives in the north on the first day, nowhere near the demonstration path. Looting, bank robbing, and damaging property and vandalizing and setting properties ablaze, reducing income for ordinary citizens of Malawi. That was the first day, unfortunate. And don't forget, you need to realize that the north is the smallest region of the country. And this region, which is the north, gave the president the largest vote during the last election. So when my friend talks about Malawians coming out in the streets, we need to be very sure what we're talking about. In our country, there's a population lately at the count of between 14 and 15 million Malawians. This president we're talking about won the largest or second largest vote on the continent of Africa, approving of his work. And what we're talking about, the demonstrations of electricity challenges, only 7% of the nation benefit from electricity. And only 1% of the nation benefit from fuel. Yes, these are vital commodities to have. Well, I explained to you that due to certain policies which we have now taken back in our own control, we will not be going through those problems. But to answer your question, the demonstration and the killings which happened do not happen on the main area where the demonstration was allowed. It happened outside in locations outside the demonstrating approved areas.
I see.
Now, nowhere, even in America, where we are right now in this building, if you decided to go downstairs and start burning a bank, I don't think you'd see the light of day.
I see.
And I don't think to see by burning down a factory that's producing drugs for the very people of Malawi would be the way to solve this problem.
Unfortunately, the time is not Besala, Ambassador Bola, so you are tuned